Welcome to the discussion segment of the program. And recently, SHIEK Ahmad GUMI visited Chief OBASANJO, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, the former president of Nigeria, where he came to discuss issue of insecurity in Nigeria and way forward. After the meeting that was held at, at closed doors, and 21 suggestions, communique emanated from that meeting. GUMI didn't come alone. He came with some of his team members, and Obasanjo on his side had people that were in that meeting. So we are looking at the fallout from Chief Obasanjo's meeting with SHIEK Ahmad GUMI. So we have two gentlemen in the studio who will be analyzing those suggestions that the GUMI and Obasanjo has put forward for the federal government. They are Dr. Kunle Ashimi, who is a medical doctor by profession and a public analyst, who will be telling us what they think about those suggestions and the way forward. The second person is Dr. Tom Agbola, a public analyst. Public affairs analyst. You are welcome to the studio, gentlemen.
Thank you for having us.
Good morning, everybody at home.
Good morning, doctor.
Well, I think chief among that suggestions, that would be rehabilitation, wean those who are ready to be weaned, according to that statement, out of bushes and crimes, settle and rehabilitate them, and give them skills, empower them, and let them have employment. So that was put forward, and I think GUMI said, SHIEK Ahmad GUMI said bandits that are ready to let go of their arms, why not that the federal government should dialogue with them. Let me start with you, Dr. Kunle Ashimi. What's your take?
Now, while I would want to appreciate every move by everybody to find a lasting solution to the security problems of Nigeria, and of course, it appears that the military architecture is failing, is not able to handle this situation. But this is not something surprising, because from the outset of all these problems, people have said that military solution would not be the only thing that will solve this problem. And it has come to the fore. One of those things that I have also seen is that there are regional upheavals now. Now, in the north, if we categorize that block as one, and having representation coming down here to meet with an elder statesman and past president, then making suggestions, and then in about a week ago, or less than a week ago, we have seen a rise in the same acts which right now, people have not really put a name to, okay? Very soon, they would also coin in banditry in the southeast. And then some regional leaders will come up from there and say, yes, let us also mediate and then find a solution and all of this. One of the things that this communique did not address, which is fundamental, is the root cause of the problem. Until we get to that root cause, we would continue to have waves up and down. Some people have come out now and they are bandits, but their level of banditry has also resulted in so many lives lost. How would we account for these lives lost? Now, in the southeast, it's happening again. Just yesterday night again, they went again to do the same thing. And after some time, some people will come up from there and say, okay, let us negotiate, let us bring up. We're going round the circle like that. So the point is, have we gotten to the root cause of this problem?
Part of the communique reads 14 million children that should be in school and are out of school must be put in school.
Yes, but is that the root cause? Now, in the insurance world or risk management, they say proximate cause. Now, when you say proximate cause, you get to the very thing that, apart from every other thing that you can name, would be the cause of this problem. Education only makes it easy. Our lack of education and lack of employment only make it easy for the central people who are doing this thing to be able to recruit these children. If you've been to the north, for example, you would see these almajiris and all of that, children who never had education, children who by design just were not put into the educational system. Because after all, the north has produced professors, okay, renowned scientists. As a matter of fact, the man that designed the Millennium Car, Jalali Ahmed, or what's his name, is from Sokoto State. Okay, that's a global accolade. So the problem is this: why are these people not putting their children in school? That is one level. The other level is that what exactly made somebody who was good bad, and then started recruiting others to join him? And of course, they know who to recruit. They know the criteria they use to recruit. Okay? So now, if you go away from there, and don't also forget that once upon a time, there was the son of one of our top bankers in this country, who also, this son was well educated, even schooling abroad, was recruited, and he attempted to bomb up a plane. In other words, what I'm saying is that the ideology behind these things, if we do not get at it, it will not stop. It's good. We've been talking about a lack of education in the north, so much so that there was a time when I think even the previous administration spent so much on nomadic education, purchased a lot of equipment that will be going after this, especially the nomadic children, so that they can get educated, but it did succeed. So I appreciate everything that has been said, and to be honest with you, these are the things that have been said so many times over, okay, over the years. They are not new things that these people are listing, but the point is that will this help us until we get to that root cause?
Okay, Dr. Tom, let's look at the personality of Sheikh GUMI himself. We know that he has been in the forefront of going to these bandits and telling them, don't do this, don't do that. Now, security challenges and way forward. Can we say he is in that position to preach that peace to the people? Can't we look at his character? Is his character not too under? I hope you get what I'm trying to say.
Thank you so very much. First and foremost, I really want to, I don't want to take it from him. It's fundamental human right.
Okay.
I mean, right to movement and association. I don't want to take that from him. But that notwithstanding, you see, I really don't want to take him serious. And he's just leveraging on the negligence of our military and the government. At the same time, I will want to know, if I'm able to know, if you can tell us who is bankrolling him or whose account is doing it, then we'll be able to either take him serious or think he's serious.
Okay.
Even despite that, we will still not, it will find it so difficult to take him very seriously. You know why? The same man is in the public space who said, who went to meet with the bandits in the forest with cash. We saw the video.
Yeah.
He said that it will be only the unbeliever in the military that will kill the bandit. It's in the public space. He said carrying AK-47 is for self-defense. It's in the public space. He said kidnapping and abduction is just a little minor crime, for crying out loud. So what about the people who lost so much, who lost their life in their atrocities? So coming down now, I think, from my own personal opinion, is more or less campaigning for the amnesty he's campaigning for. So he's looking for an avenue, at least to buy people into his own idea. That is my thought.
Okay.
So now coming down to Southwest, I think his visit is, to me, it's not necessary. It's uncalled for. He's only trying to play on our intelligence. And I think we need to wake up to our duty. You see, when we give, okay, Somebody said something on the social media some few days ago that if somebody like Gumi or Adeboye or Idepo meet with the kidnappers in the forest, there will be crisis all over. Okay, now you went to, we saw it. You went there with cash. It's in the public space. It's on the social. Who are you defending? If you can say it is only the unbelievers in the military that will kill the bandits, are you holding briefs for them?
Are you their spokesperson?
That is why it poses concern to me. So its antecedent is not supporting the unity and the security is campaigning for now. So now I think it is high time the government, if Gumi can sit with the bandit in the forest, I think he should be able to lead the military there. And I don't think they need any blanket of amnesty. They should be treated as one, as terrorists. The innocent protesters, they were attacked. So those people who created a state within the geographical location of a sovereign state, you are asking for amnesty for them. Those who have killed several places, they bomb up several places, they've killed several innocent people, they've killed several brains, several lecturers, several professors, several bankers, several engineers. No, they are just leveraging on I call it negligence. If the Chadian and military could go there and do the best, the US military came there, rescued their own. So, and now we have somebody who said he knows where they are sitting, they are meeting. I think they should hold him responsible and lead us there.
Okay, Dr. Ashimi, do you buy the idea of amnesty for those bandits?
Now, part of what I was trying to say earlier on is that, you see, by the time it starts going around, because when they started brandishing the idea of amnesty, I asked myself, is there any similarity between what happened in the South-South and what is happening in the North right now? In the South-South, there was something they were asking for. They wanted to control their own resources. They were saying that, look, you take this thing from us and we are not getting much in return. We are so blessed with natural resources, but yet so poor in the physical development around. And so we know that there was something they were asking for. And then we ask ourselves, is it legitimate? Yes, it is legitimate. The modus operandi, though criminal, but can we then equate it to a situation where you enter a sleeping village and slaughter people who have no hands in whatever it is that you are agitating for? So here we are. I was saying, look, because some people had done something in the South-South, they had amnesty. And then so somebody is now asking for amnesty in the North. Now the guys in the Southeast who had gone on rampage, somebody would also come out from their fold. Okay, one reverend father, something, would come and say, okay, yes, I've dialogued with these boys and this, and so let us give them amnesty. So some other ones will rise in the Southwest and they will do the same thing, and then you give them an amnesty. And we'll continue in that vicious cycle. So I am thinking in the line that, look, let criminals be treated as criminals. So
amnesty will encourage
amnesty will encourage these dissidents, this militancy, and you can, and they will perhaps start thinking that, okay, perhaps the more grievous the better. The more lives they take, the better. And I think that we need to tread softly on that terrain. Amnesty as being branded is anathema to what is, it is actually a poison to the soul of this country. So we shouldn't tread that line at all. And like I said, let us ask Gumi, as he ever has these people, what exactly it is that they are fighting for. Okay? Now, let me come to the personality of Gumi. Saul in the Bible was not a nice person, but he was called by God, he changed and became Paul. okay? Anybody can change. Anybody can wake up one morning and say, look, the way I have lived my life is not right, or rather my contribution to the public space is not the way, and then I need to do it this way. So I say, look, somewhere in my mind I say, okay, possibly, is it not this same GUMI that one country had arrested and, you know, tried to say, look, you are on the other side of the law, you know, something to do with terrorism and all that and all that. But he woke up one day and said, look, I want to be a good person. I give him, it is possible. So I am not doubting that now he has turned a new leaf. But the question is, can I say that the steps he is taking is in the right direction? Okay, coming to the southwest, like Dr. Agbola said, for what reason? Have you been able, you see, they want to nationalize whatever it is that they've sat down in there to discuss. But the truth of it is that, how well have you tackled it as a local issue? How well is what you're saying acceptable to the people there? But you can hear somebody like Governor El-Rufai saying that he is not towing that line. A criminal is a criminal and should be treated as such. Let us hear the voices of the other governors there. And then when they come forward, don't tell me one Kineko forum, something forum. No. Let the governors, who are the custodians of security by the Constitution in their domain, come up together to say, look, we believe, and our people has given us the mandate to say that these people, they deserve amnesty. Then sell it from that region as a national idea, not as somebody leapfrogging all over the place, because for me, I still don't understand the basis for those meetings. And maybe Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, being a nationalist, being a statesman, accommodated that, believing that, look, there will be something. But you would also see that all those things that they have highlighted, you did not see anything like amnesty in there.
Yes,
in the real sense.
About rehabilitation.
Rehabilitation in form of amnesty.
Let me tell you something. You see, when you talk of rehabilitation, empowering and all that, you would want to, you see, understand diplomatic writings, understand all these things. What they did not say, they did not say. You get what I'm saying?
But doesn't this point to
them?
Dr. Ashimi,
I'll tell you.
Doesn't this point to amnesty? Yes, amnesty as a word wasn't used.
I agree.
But rehabilitate them, give them skills,
rehabilitate
them, and let them have employment.
Rehabilitate who? Look, let us separate these things. There are those guys who are active in this thing, killing and all of that. There is a second level of sympathizers. There is a level of informants. And there is a level of what you call prospective recruitment, recruits. So you ask yourself, if you want to reduce the number of people in a space, okay, naturally people move in and out. The first thing you want to do is stop people moving in, okay? Let's say in a village. Stop them having children. Stop visitors coming in there. Naturally, those people there will grow old and die, and the number reduces. What we don't want, see, I am saying that I am sure they are, as including Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, he would never allow that word amnesty to be used.
Okay,
it was
Dr. Agbola, I'm coming to you. I mean, does that point to amnesty? Maybe let me quote now. Win those who are ready to be weaned out of bushes and crime,
and drop them.
settle and rehabilitate them, give them skills, empower them, and let them have employment. I mean, Dr. Agbola, does this point to amnesty?
This is simply their term of amnesty. That is the definition they gave to the kind of amnesty they wanted. But please, for crying out loud, giving an amnesty to somebody who's giving us a global embarrassment? No, somebody who is...
Dr. Ashimi is saying we shouldn't use the word amnesty.
No. You see, they cannot have amnesty.
He said it.
Okay, maybe you should say
I think
He
what
said,
we're saying.
no, Gumi said it before.
Yes.
He said it before that he should be given a blanket of amnesty, like
But-
they did
but
in the South.
that didn't come up- that didn't come up with
said
this.
now, it has now been modified now. He said rehabilitate them.
Yes, rehabilitate
Okay,
them.
allow them drop their gun, rehabilitate them. Those who are supposed to be charged with treason and felony for creating a state, in a sovereign state. He said we should empower them. What about those ones whose children have been killed? What are you talking about them? Okay, what kind of support are you giving to them? You're not talking about that at all. Some family, recently, three siblings of the same father, the same mother were killed. Left with just two. A father died 2 weeks ago because two of his daughter were abducted. He died. He could not stand it. Okay, you are not asking, oh my God, what are we doing for those victims? They are victims. How will I feel? See them walk freely on the street. Listen to me. If you want peace and security in a nation, there must be fairness, there must be equity, and there must be justice. If this person can kill and go scot-free, it will send a signal to me that after all, somebody did it and he went scot-free. He got a scholarship. Don't let us support mediocrity.
Well, Dr. Shime, the federal government has said no to amnesty, at least as of now.
Which I support. That should be no amnesty.
That has not changed.
Yes.
But how will you rate the fight against banditry? Because it seems to me this is not abating.
The question is, the first thing you want to attack is the definition of a bandit. Okay? A bandit will just be somebody who comes, steals, and goes away. Somebody who runs against the law, okay, and not somebody who goes in to kill people. You know, sometimes when they say they kill, we don't hear about they stole. You know, we don't hear about just that maybe they raised houses. We hear about people slaughtered. You know,
numbers.
and you now say bandits. Do you understand? That is one of the fundamental flaws. You see, the people that are directing the narrative up north understand what they were saying. And so, why not terrorists?
But I could recall when the Minister of Information and Culture, Dr. Lai Mohammed, said it's like calling armed robbers, terrorists, because we don't know them. So how those who don't know would call them terrorists? Looking at the way they operate.
Terrorism is not about a person. It is about the act. Okay? It is about the act. The act of putting fear into people, the act of destabilizing the daily livings of people, the act of killing, maiming people without a just cause or a cause that is justifiable by any reasonable person. That is terrorism. And so, a terrorist does not just come to steal. He just has this idea that, look, I need to send a message. I'm enjoying the killing. Do you understand? So the narrative, those who are directing the narratives are the ones playing on our intelligence in the first place. These are no bandits. These are terrorists. Clearly stated. 2, would you want to give a terrorist amnesty? No. But you see, there is always something about the way we define or the way we go about programs. I do not see anything in this thing that says that, look, that is in the normal sense of rehabilitate, do this, do this. You cannot rehabilitate somebody who wakes up and just kills somebody for no just cause. Whatever is whatever evil or evil spirit that is inside him that makes him kill. I'm a doctor, for God's sake, and I know what it takes when even a person that is injured comes in. Everything about you is you want to save that life. But what will make anybody want to take that life? And in a manner that, okay, let's just assume that even, okay, something drops somewhere by accident, let's say a gas, and somebody dies, it's a different thing. But somebody did it deliberately, enjoys the sin, dances around their graves, that is not the mentality of somebody you want to, you know. But I always also say that along the line, there are certain people within that sect whom are not the direct killers, so to say, but by their sympathy to whatever they are doing. So you will be able to separate. That's why I'm not really attacking. No. See, I agree with accessories. But okay, now let us just make it mild so that you'll understand what I am saying. I see a policeman collect a bribe, and I did not report it. I'm encouraging that policeman to collect bribe another day. He collected from me. I did not report it. So I can be classified as an accessory. Yeah. And so when that policeman is eventually caught, everybody that has given him a bribe, anybody that has witnessed him collecting bribe is an accessory to the crime. Yeah. Do you understand? So I agree on that level. But the point is that will their punishment be the same as the policeman collecting the bribe? Okay, Dr. Do you get it? Talking about punishment now, before you go far, they suggested special courts. There cannot be any special courts. You see, this like they say, there is special court for traffic offenses, special court for armed robbery, special court for two fighting, federal court, special court for husband and wife who want to divorce, special court, and then we find every other house in the country, because there are so many crimes in this country that we would want to create special courts for. But what we don't understand is that we have one judicial system that can accommodate all of this. What we need to do is strengthen our judicial system. Then one other problem is that, you see, the judicial system in Nigeria has caused so much problems for this country than a lot of people are willing to give credit to. For example, if you have a judicial system that an armed robber is taken to, and there is this presentation of evidence and this and this and this, and a lawyer can argue a case that frees this person, okay? Then that judicial system has just, released to the system somebody who is now twice as powerful. The judicial system has affected our businesses in such a way that there was a time I was involved with one thing like that, and then some people brought in money to Nigeria, they wanted to invest, and all of a sudden, they just disappeared. Huge amount of money. And then one day I saw one of them some years later, and you know what he told me when I asked him why he left? He said, I was reading the newspapers, and there was a case between a customer and a bank, and the case lingered for 10 years. Even at that time, the judgment had not been delivered. And that discouraged him. And they now like, what? So if I have a problem with anybody I'm doing business with in this country, it will take that long. So he left. So the same thing is what is playing out. Strengthen this judicial system. You don't need to create special court for everything now. Two fighting, no show the special court. A Shakmo woman, you understand what I'm saying? It doesn't make any sense to me.
But Dr. Agbola, don't you think this special court, it seems to me the intention is for them to deal promptly with cases of banditry, kidnapping, ransom demanding, and unlawful carrying of weapons? So that they won't belabor the normal speedy trial seems to be the intention here.
Okay, let me follow your path. But for me, I have a video on my phone, if I have access to it now. I have a friend who is a military personnel. When I saw the video, he sent to me daily. If it is about kidnapping and they need a rapid execution and prosecution and whatever, it's okay. But for the terrorists, the soldier sent the videos to me. And I saw how our military men were being slaughtered. And you're not asking me to ask for court for such people? Listen, they are fathers, they are sons, they are families too. And you want a court that will still take them, they can maneuver, they can find their way out. Is it not in this country that we are? I think everything is just a scam for crying out loud. We need to take something serious.
I mean, this is a democratic nation, so things
for somebody who is a terrorist, Okay, for the kidnappers, when they are caught, I think they need spontaneous prosecution and a quick
speedy trial, basically.
Speedy trial. Thank you. So with that, it's okay. But for what GUMI is asking for, that these terrorists, I won't call them bandits because they are terrorists. For those who attack our country, they have their flags on.
They've not been declared as terrorists. They've not been declared as terrorists.
And that's why we are not serious with it. We are still handling with kid gloves until we are serious with it. If you are ready to fight them, the man told me, he's a soldier, he told me that they can't withstand them if they are allowed to fight them in full-fledged. But they are incapacitated. So they are wasting innocent life there. I think that the government should think that someday they will give account of that public trust we give to them.
Okay, let's look at the federal government and the intelligence gathering now. I think GUMI is trying to gather some intelligence for the federal government, and he's trying to sell it to the federal government so that they can do something.
Okay.
So, do you think GUMI is in that place, in that position to gather intelligence for the federal government?
That was my question at the initial. I asked it earlier. I said, listen, I want to know who is bankrolling SHIEK GUMI. Is he doing it as a concerned Nigeria?
Or is he doing
it just because he wanted to have some funds around? Is he doing it because he had the war chest? Is he doing it because he knows them? Or is he doing it for the government? See, and I said that he's just leveraging on the negligence of our government, our military architecture, and Nigeria as a whole.
So who should gather intelligence?
Yes, the military. They can delegate people to do that.
Let me come into this. You see, for every country, there are levels of intelligence gathering. Internal intelligence falls under the purview of the DSS, the Directorate of State Security in Nigeria. And to be honest with you, my experience of the DSS has shown that these people are doing their job as diligently as they should, and that the arsenal of intelligence that they gather every day could as well nip a lot of crimes in the bud. It will surprise you that there is hardly any market even where the DSS does not have operatives. Yeah. There's hardly any higher institution, any community where the DSS does not have operatives, and that they submit their reports every day. That's established. The police also have their own system of information and intelligence gathering, at least limited to the area of coverage of each division. Now, though, for example, very recently, the Special Constabulary, the community police that was recently established, rather than be doing that job for which they are established, because they are supposed to be members of each community who then do this work. One day I saw them at Adatom, checking papers. I had to call somebody high up to say, look, this is what I saw your guys doing. Well, let's leave that. At the level of the military would gather intelligence both within and outside the countries, because it falls under the purview of protecting the integrity, territorial integrity of the country. And so you'd have the Directorate of Military Intelligence and also the subs that they do have. And they have cooperation with Interpol and other agencies like the FBI, the CIA, the MI5, and all of that, And so we have enough to go around. But the question is, are we making use of them? There's a book coming up, Bring Back Our Girls, that I have read, some parts. It was written by 2 journalists from the US who detailed, while we are here saying that no effort was made to rescue the Chibok girls, it will surprise you how much effort the international community made to, gather information, how they even stationed drones to look at where these people are, monitor it over days, and the level of cooperation or lack of it that they got from the Nigerian military, and how the whole thing, got out of hand. how between the president of Nigeria and the presidents of other countries, calls were made to see how this can be resolved. Albeit, despite the fact that there were so many other issues going on around, it has also been shown that the kidnapping of the Chibok girls was not even as big as many others that happened around there. But people focused on that because politicians, international media focused on that. But a lot of others were going on. I'm now trying to tell, what I'm trying to establish is that in terms of intelligence gathering, we have enough. And if we don't, we can either rent or buy. Yeah. There are drones that you can buy. There are people that you can rent around the world, soldiers of fortune, telecommunications company, in a short period. What I think is happening is that there is a sabotage involving starting with the politicians and then extending into the military, which has also been politicized. Nigeria has some of the finest soldiers the world has ever produced. And that is why when they go outside of this country where everything works, they come back with accolades, salute. Nigerian police force too, when we send our men and women out there, outside of this country, where things are allowed to work, they come back with accolades. The problem is within our own system. We have people within this system sabotaging this system, okay? And I will just quickly point to what happened in Benue. Oh, it was Fulani herdsmen, it was this. Yes, there were issues related to Fulani herdsmen. But how come, I keep saying, that of the so many people killed, at some point, 1,000 and something, 500 and something, 300 and something, there was nobody in that whole village who was able to pick up a stone and stone one of them. And how come in a country as big as Nigeria, if you've been to the north, if you say in the forest of the southwest, somebody can move without you seeing. Yeah. But in the north, the vegetation is sparse. Yeah. So how could 100 people ride on a motorcycle, okay, for distances of over 300, over 30, 40, 50 kilometers, and nobody can pick their trail? And then they gather some 300 children with them, and they're still able to move without anybody being able to tell you this is where they passed. So I'm saying that there are some levels of sabotage going on in this country, involving the people themselves, involving the politicians, involving the military. That's said. Now you now look at the issue of how people share intelligence. When the Maiduguri, when the Benue thing was at the height, somebody was calling our super cop, Abakari. When Abakari landed, the first thing is, okay, let me remove the hands of the Fulani herdsmen. He would ask himself, what will make these Fulani herdsmen? That is, I'm talking about that particular thing, and not the kind of kidnapping and all those things that they are involved with. But in that setting, you say, okay, maybe, because these people there are those, they've been living together with these other persons. So you now say, okay, what will be the cause of this Fulani now turning against these people? Okay, there's something called cattle rustling. So he first went after cattle rustlers. And I recall very well, but part of that, especially in Zamfara, in a forest where they found about 6,500 heads of cattle and 40 slain Fulani cattle herders whose cattle had been stolen. So he did that, removed, and what is left? Then Yoruba says something like, Okorotinje for a day for lower. How is it possible that these people will come into this, among these people, kill them, and be able to walk free without anybody? So he did the investigation, and he went to a particular hotel, arrested 4 people who are from Benue State. And when they started crying, said, no, we are not the ones. Our guy is one local government councillor. Among them, part of them. And that was why. So the question then was, well, why are you killing your own people? We don't know. They have not given us the feedback as to what we were able to gather from these people. The only thing we heard is that somebody was after one Teshekina, what was his name, Ghana, and everything, and okay, then later the guy was killed. And why was he not captured? So that we can give information. So I'm saying that conspiracy theory, if you call it, there's a lot of things going around that we need to get to the root of. If we follow the path that GUMI is treading, trying to bring in Chief Obasanjo and all of those things, what we are establishing is the path of all this amnesty South-South, Amnesty Northeast, Amnesty Southwest, you know, Southeast now. All those boys will come up. Look, they said these guys are going, they said they did 40 days fasting and prayer, they gave ultimatum, and then they came out and they are doing what they said they would do. And at the end of the day, what will we come back to? Amnesty.
Well, Dr. Agboola, it's not entirely about amnesty. I think we see other suggestions here. And okay, I want to analyze this. Protection and reward for whistleblowers against criminals living in the community.
Okay. I think that should be encouraged. And ECOWAS regional integration into this security stuff, I think that is encouraging. That is, it does make sense. I think with this, I can drink cold water on that.
But don't forget that there is a fundamental problem.
Yeah.
The average Nigerian does not trust the system. As such, let us even look at within our small areas. I'm telling you so, even within our small areas, let's say on a particular street, some petty stealing has been happening. The average, we have an idea. Because the story out there is that, if you tell them, they will be the one to even tell the guy that this is the person that came to. So what I'm saying is that there are so many things to put forward. You need to gain the trust of the Nigerian, which of course is difficult. Then you must then look at how do we go forward, because to gain the trust of Nigerians may take another 100 years. But can we put forward a system where you can guarantee that if I make this call is routed to a particular place where my phone number is scrambled, and I can talk in a tone that will not be recognizable to the next person and say, look, the man that lives next to my room, he goes out in the middle of the night and only comes back, and there was a day I saw blood stain, you know, so that it can be investigated. We need to create that system. We need to sit people down who can look at it. Sociologists, psychologists, anthropologists, security experts to say, look, how do we create a system? And you know why I mentioned this is, Nigeria is such a place where government form policies for example, people working in this place, and you didn't even know when they were holding the meeting. And then somebody brings you one paper and say, this is the government policy. How many of you were involved? Were you called to say, this is what we are planning for you, what do you think? So that is where the problem will be. If we start using our professionals in various fields, let me ask you a question. Why do you think, you know, it's funny. They will say, some whites, some Americans came to Nigeria on an exchange, and that they are studying Yoruba. They are studying Yoruba in the United States. When you go and find out, it's not 100, maybe 5, 20, 30, over a period of 1 year, or, you know, and they come, cultural exchange and all of that. What do you think they are doing? Of what importance is Yoruba to the American economy? You see, they are creating people that when they need intelligence on the Yoruba people, they want to, they say, okay, what do you think the Yoruba man would think? They'll say culturally, the way the Yoruba man think, from what we know and from what we have seen, is this. Those guys are experts. Either they're going to be used by CIA, FBI, they're going to be used by the office that gives freebies, that, you know, donates things, you know, all those things, AIDS and all of that. If we are sending something to Nigeria, what do you think we should send to the Yorubas? Do you understand? So use these people. It's not just the gun. Our universities have so many professionals that you can use, but we're not taking in the direction of even bringing a child psychologist to look at how does the average northern small boy think when he does or when he sees these things.
Okay, rounding up this segment, Dr. Tom Agboola, what do you think should be done now? The insecurity challenges, what should be the way forward?
I will appeal to the federal government to please, because the #1 duty they swore to was to protect life and property. And nothing can thrive in an insecure environment. To take this insecure, to take the matter of insecurity very seriously. Fight this insecurity with everything at their disposal. Gather intelligence. I mean, fight Criminalize those who are supposed to be criminalized and allow peace to reign.
Well, many thanks, gentlemen. Dr. Kunle Ashimi, a medical doctor, but maybe by profession, a public affairs analyst by passion, and you've come here to talk about, maybe well, you will come later to talk about medicine, but definitely not today. And Dr. Tom Agbola, a public affairs analyst, many thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Well, we're not done yet. We now proceed to the second part of the discussion segment of this program. Please stay with us.